strategically, I can get it right. I'm gonna go where the winners go. 'Cause selling ain't an option, no, it ain't in my blood. All I do is try to come.
Hey, happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. How's everybody doing out there for 2025? We made it.
Yes, we did.
Now, what's going on for 2025?
We are thriving in 2025. I am super excited that we are here and I'm ready to go.
Ready to go. So, y'all know what it is. Welcome to Mondays Beyond the Mic. This is the space where we dive into relationship topics. We didn't change because the new year came and we just still diving in and giving people opportunities, by sharing our personal and profound aspects on life, on what we have been through. Again, happy New Year's to everyone out there. Co host, we have had a conversation and we have reflected on 2024 and discovered that we had some wow moments.
Yes, we did. Yes, we
From your
absolutely.
wow experience, right? So, from your wow experience, what is one thing you learned in 2024?
Oh, wow. The yet not yetness. I think that's it. That has been the game changer for me, that I've carried from 2024 into 2025 is to realize that everybody is not in their not yetness.
And that's good. And I think we're along the same lines because I say the process, they're in the process. Everybody's not there. Everybody's at different stages. Everybody's at different levels, which helps me to maintain, and temper my temper and helps me to understand people where they are and realize everybody's not where I'm at and I'm not where everybody else is. So yeah, process. That's what I learned in 2024. That's what I took away in 2024. So again, thank you for returning. We have to thank our faithfuls. They were texting, "Hey, I'm on. Where's the link? Love it, love it, love it." Thank you for tuning in and watching the repeats. But we were on vacation until the new year came in. So thank you for tuning back in to our faithfuls. And if this is your first time here, welcome to Mondays Beyond the Mic, where we talk all things relationships. As a personal disclaimer, we talk from our personal relationships in the hopes that will help someone move past their pain to purpose and seek help, whatever that looks like to them. We have house rules here, and our number one house rule is respect, respect, respect. I would like to state that if disrespect is displayed on a platform or in the chat, you will be removed from the show. Not something that we like to do, but we are very big here on respect. So, tonight we are talking about blurred lines. Mhm. Blurred lines, that's that. Like, hey, 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 hey. So, co host, take it away. Let's get into it.
All right, but before I do that, let's make sure that we like, share, and subscribe before we get started. So let's talk about those blurred lines. You ever felt like you're trying to solve the relationship puzzle, trying to put those pieces together where the pieces just don't fit? One moment, they're all in, and the next, they're not ready for a relationship. So tonight, we will be talking about defining the relationship known as DTR.
Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting because all last year we talked about situationships, people in relationships, somebody living over here, somebody living over there. So again, tonight, DTR, right? We're going to talk about defining the relationship. So, a study by Tinder found that 65% of women believe men were primarily interested in casual flings, while only 29% of men actually express that preference. Here we go thinking, right? We already out there. We already out there because it says 29% of men actually express that preference. This disparity highlights the frequent misinterpretation of intentions in dating scenarios. A study by Bustle stated that over a third of individuals have either tried to avoid having DTR defining the relationship, or have been in situations where their partner has tried to avoid it.
Been there,
Interesting.
been.
Interesting. Let's hmm
Uh-huh.
I say let's just get into it.
All right. So the meaning of DTR, it stands for defining the relationship. It refers to a conversation between two people in a romantic or potentially romantic relationship to clarify where they stand with each other. The goal is to establish a mutual understanding about the relationship, status, expectations, and future intentions. That it often a significant or sometimes nerve-wracking conversation, depending on how you feel about it, as it
Mm,
requires honesty, vulnerability from both parties. So
yeah.
we have to
And
think.
before we continue, we have to say hello to the favorite best moderator in the YouTube streets, and that is Ine. Hey, Ine.
Hey,
Thanks for
Nay.
tuning in. Thanks for manning that whole comment section. We have, hold on.
We have Bravo by Sheila. She said, blessings. Well, look at you two beauties. Well, it takes one to know one. We thank you.
Hey.
And you birth one. No. New You Nation Network said, hey, ladies. Hello.
Hey, Trey. Hey, Trey.
Hey, Trey.
Hey, Trey. Should be good, Trey. We talking about blurred lines, tonight. DTR defining the relationship. You know. Hey, Ash.
Ashley said, hey, ladies. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year. So we got some professionals on. We're going to get into it before we see people trickling in. So little recap. We are talking about DTR, defining the relationship. You want to take it away, co-host? You want to back it up so everyone knows what we're talking about?
So we're talking about the blurred lines. So you want me to go back to reading the definition of the blurred lines? It refers to a conversation
Let's do that.
between two people in a romantic or potentially romantic relationship to clarify where they stand with each other. The goal is to establish a mutual understanding so that they can understand the future intentions. And it's often significant and sometimes nerve-wracking because it requires honesty and vulnerability on both parts. So that was just a little recap. But now we're going to talk about the blurred lines, the words versus the actions.
Ooh.
It's about to get real. It's going to get good, as I know it's not a word.
As Trey said, juicy.
Right.
Trey said this will be juicy.
So let's talk about that. Words versus actions. Blurred lines or mixed signals happen when someone's words and actions don't align, creating confusion about the true intention. If someone says they're not ready for anything serious, but continues to plan vacations and introduce you to their friends, their behavior is saying more than their words. What are your thoughts?
And I see that's very confusing because, right, actions speak louder than words. So, yeah, you're saying this, but you're showing me this, but you really mean that. Now I'm all twisted in the game, right? I'm totally confused. So it really comes down to which one do you believe? Which one do you go with? Do you go with the actions or do you go with the words, right? So let's what you think? What you think before we move on to
I'm
this?
honestly going to say I'm going to go with your words because at this point you said what you said and I want you to say what you mean. And if that's what it is, then let's be that. Although I can see how the actions can confuse you, but I'm a firm believer until someone changes the words, then this is where we need to stay. Now, I have been guilty in the past of going, well, wait a minute, I think it's this and that, but right now it's like, nope, this is what you said. I'm sticking to what you said.
Yeah, and not having that crucial conversation. And I think sometimes because we don't want to know, right? So let's just watch this clip. Let's see where
be with that man. Yes, that man be with me, but are we together? Absolutely not. But can you talk to him? Absolutely not. Do we go together? Absolutely not. Are we together real bad? Absolutely. You know?
What is going on right now? It's so many blurred lines. We together, but we not together. It is that best friend line. Don't cross. We go together when we want to go together, but I guess it's unspoken words because you don't go with him, but I can't go with him. But y'all together. I don't know. What's your thoughts? Talk to us in the chat. What y'all think? What you think, co-host? Because
Well,
that
I
was a
think
lot.
yes, that's a lot, but I also think that sounds like the situationship that people talk about. So we're in this situation, we haven't made a commitment, we hang out a lot, we do these things, but no, you're not my man. No, I'm not your girl. However, these are the blurred lines. And I really think, probably more so now than back in the day. And back in the day, maybe the 90s, the early 2000s, people were probably more committed, and earlier than that. But now I think it has become, people are more free, like, oh, I can do what I want to do, opposed to being more committed. And I think the options that you have you have more options before, because now you have social media, so you can meet somebody on the other side of the world, where before you were just kind of stuck in your local area. So that's just my thoughts. What about you?
Same here. We're gonna go to the comment because Trey is talking to us.
Trey's on
We
fire.
might have she on fire. We might have to drop the link.
Says I absolutely what he said. People can only do what you expect and what you accept. Absolutely.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
That's nonsense. Okay. All right.
So we got T.
Hey T. Good evening to you. Lady Dawn B said, Happy New Year, family. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So what we are talking about this evening, we have our faithfuls coming in. So what we do for our faithfuls, we gonna back it all the way up. We are talking about DTR. Yeah, I'm glad you asked what's DTR. DTR is defining the relationship. Right, Coles? That's what we've been talking about.
Yes.
Blurred lines. Ever felt like you're trying to solve a relationship puzzle where the pieces just don't fit one moment, they're all in, and the next they're not? So that's what we're talking about here. I'm going to rewind the clip, play the clip, so y'all can get all caught up and talk to us.
I be with that man. Yes, that man be with me. But are we together? Absolutely not. But can you talk to him? Absolutely not. Do we go together? Absolutely not. Are we together real bad? Absolutely. You know?
It don't look like they defined anything.
They just together when they want to be together, but I don't want you to be with anybody else, but we're not together. Yeah, it's confusing.
And as Trey said, that's nonsense. Mm-hmm. So T, any comments? Dawn, any comments? That's what we're talking about. DTR, which stands for defining the relationship. And co-host, you were going on, you had a question?
No, I was just going to read, go on to the next portion of it, which is DTR, the flags.
No, we're not there yet. Nope, we're not there yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Nope.
So, okay, why do people avoid the DTR talk? And
why do they avoid the talk? I think
the relationship.
No, let's go back. Let's ask the question of why do we think people send mixed signals to coincide with what we just played?
Well, I think a part of that is not the commitment. I don't have to make a commitment to someone.
And yeah, that's a good point. And I think another part of it can be fear of losing their independence. Again, not committing. We talked about this before, emotional vulnerability, not in a space where they can be vulnerable. And of course, the big one, keeping their options open, right?
Yeah, but I think that kind of goes back. I don't want to necessarily commit to you, so I still have an option to do something else. And I never, again, to what she said, we don't go together, but we be together. So with that being
said, that my man?
No. you can't talk to him either, or vice versa, right? So I think that it really boils down to commitment, and to your point, people feeling like I have other options, but yeah, I have so many thoughts on that, but it does boil down to the fact that you feel like you have a lot of options, possibly, and commitment. I don't want to be committed. And sometimes a part of it is there is no requirement to be committed.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Hey, Sharon.
Hey, Sharon. Hey, ladies. Happy New Year to you, ladies. Happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year's to you as well. Trey, we're going to just drop the line and just let you come on up because you on the roll. You got some things to say.
Women don't make men because they want what they want. Yeah, women don't make men, so there's no requirement. I think we have dropped from a woman's perspective, we've dropped the requirements where before we had more standards, and now we're just like we have loosened our standards. They're not the same. They're not like they used to be. They're not, I always say, if we thought about our grandparents or our parents, we've set a different set of standards, which was totally different. You know, a lot of times women, we say, I could do what he does. No, you really can't. You won't get the same result. So I think, you know, we got to have, as a woman, I have to own my part, not just say,
Absolutely.
oh, you know, what part did I play? Terrence says it's crazy, but sending mixed signals has become the norm these days. Right. So it's almost like, to the point, I don't have to commit. I like you, but we're not together, and we can hook up whenever we can hook up. Lady Dawn B said mixed signals holds a person in a place and buys time for them to see if the other is a better option. It diverts you from being intentional. I love it. And I agree with it.
Listen, Lady Dawn B, Trey, Tion, drop the link because y'all talking to us tonight. So y'all know what that link means. If you want to jump on up here, jump on up here. But to your point, you made a good point when you said we have lowered our standards opposed to how it was before. I can remember my Aunt Mary. I can do a whole show on Aunt Mary. However, Aunt Mary told us one of her stories, and what she said was, no, when a man came to get you from your house, they had to bring mama her flowers and papa his beer. You don't go to someone's house, a lady's house, empty-handed. Now it's just I don't even know what to call it. Like T said, it's become the norm. And how did we transition all the way over here?
And I also
values, morals, everything. Like, how do we get all the way over here?
Something as simple as getting your door, or getting the car door, getting the door that you walk through, walking on the outside, like those things. You see women, I'm like, no, I'll stand there. I'll be like, I'll wait. And to me, those are indications. If you can't do those things, that's just being a gentleman. And then, people say, well, you want equal. Yes, that's, you want equal right. I still want to be treated like a lady.
And it was in actually think like a man, act like a man, think like a lady. I think it was Megan Good when she was standing there and she was like, I'm not moving. And he pulled off. So again, it goes back that. And she was standing like, oh, no, he didn't. But she was just trying to set standards and boundaries for herself. Again, situationship, we together, we not together, just all over the place. But to the point, like, how did we get all the way over here? So let's move on. We're going to talk about emotional ambiguity and mixed signals. Emotional and I get tongue-tied with this word, so don't judge me, y'all. Ambiguity refers to the uncertainty and confusion created by inconsistent behavior in a relationship. If someone showers you with affection one day but acts distant the next, it creates emotional whiplash. So we got people. Hold on, we got some more faithful people coming on in here.
We got the doctor is in the house, Dr. Duncan. We have gotten here lack of standards because we are accepting of the behavior. And that is coming from the psychologist.
Right.
Hey, Theo. Y'all starting the year off hot. That's right.
Listen, gotta make it do what it do. We gotta, we gotta help people out. We gotta help ourselves out. We gotta help people out. That's why we have Dr. Duncan, Dr. Hardy, we have Ashley, we have social workers, we got Trey, we got coaches. You a coach. Listen, it's all working together. It's all working together. So with that part, right? Let's move on to another clip from Emotional Whiplash. And I'm gonna need everybody to chime in on this. Let's do it.
Not a man can meet you, think you're an amazing woman, genuinely like you. All right, let me stress that. Genuinely like you, meaning he enjoys your company. He enjoys, doing things with you. He really thinks you're a cool girl, whatever. Yet, be highly attracted to you, clearly want to sleep with you, but still not want to be committed to you in a relationship. Now, I know that sounds freaking ridiculous, right? Like, how could he like you, be attracted to you, all these things, but still not want to be in a relationship with you?
Okay, so now hold on. Come on, Lady Dawn B. Lady Dawn B is on Thursday nights. Hey, how's it going?
What's good, family? Hi, everybody.
Hey, Happy New Year's.
Yes, ma'am. Happiest of the New Year's.
Happy.
This is the one.
So let's do this. Let's back up real quick because this is what we did for everyone. We just want to say Happy New Year's. This year will be amazing. It is going to be great. It is going to be fantastic. So Happy New Year's to everybody that is just chiming in. And Lady Dawn B, what you think? What you think about, DTR, defining the relationship?
Well, I said I was going to be toxic this year. I said that. I'm just saying. Because it's time out for, pussyfooting around and beating around the bush about stuff. Because we got to get ourselves together. We too old. Okay? At this big age, y'all know how I feel. I feel that, we have to stop playing around with our own your emotion. Own what you're feeling. Be clear. It's no longer time. It's time out for I don't know, and we'll see, and well, maybe, and I like you, but I like you a little bit. I like you like a 7, not really a 10, although my scale goes to 15. So that means, like we could go out, but you can't spend the night, but you could come over. Like, that's just the real deal of stuff. You either want to be in a committed situation, not even situation, because I'm not going to disrespect it. You either want to be in a committed relationship, whatever it is. If friendship is the capacity upon which you can handle, then own that relationship and say, hey, I like you. I would love for us to be friends. Let's develop that and see where it goes. But be clear. Just be honest. There's nothing wrong with that. That way is fair for everyone. You don't have the other person stringing along. Their heart is all open, deep and wide, trying to feel like you they man or I'm your woman, because your feelings get hurt that way. Nothing worse, I know, for us women than going out with somebody and thinking that you are the lady on their arm for life and you're just the lady on their arm for the night. The next day you are confused. Like, but wait a minute. I had all my good emotions out for you last night, all of them. Because we got
the good emotions.
We got different
all the good emotions. All the good emotions.
I gave you all that, and it's an investment. It's a real investment. And we have to stop playing with people's feelings and expecting them to invest more while we're trying to figure it out. If you're not sure how you feel.
A good point.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up T and I'm going to bring up Trey and I'm going to say something and then we all going to chime in. I want them. Hey, T. Hey, Trey.
Hey, what's going on? Happy New Year's, y'all.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. It is good to see y'all for the New Year's. I'm glad everybody is up here in the brand new year ready to get the people straight and get people together in their lives, in their relationships, in their emotions, and that whole thing. So Dawn made a good point, and we talked about it a little bit, and Trey made comments about it. It's, you don't want to be with me and you say that in the beginning, I'm not ready for a relationship. You are ready to articulate that and said that very clear. But then your actions turn, and then you want to act like you're in a relationship. Let's hear from a man first. T, what you think?
I agree with her, but I'm gonna twist the game a
Did we lose him?
I think so.
bit. It's what the get complacent. When people know that they got you,
Your connection is bad, T. Yeah, you're fading in and out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Right now.
I mean, and it's sad because you want to let somebody know that you all in, but sometimes when you let somebody know that you all in, the results just ain't good. For example, my last relationship, I can be cocky, but the moment I fell in love and became the nice guy, the relationship went downhill.
Okay.
The relationship went downhill. Yeah, that could be her, but that happens not just with her. That happens with people in general.
Absolutely.
That happens with people in general. A lot of times, like I said, when somebody knows that they got you, and there's no more mystery, like, oh, I got this person. The feelings kind of change, and it's sad, but that happens a lot.
That is so whack.
It is so whack, but you know what though? But it's reality. It's reality, and it happens.
Okay, Trey, what you think? And I think that is so whack because you get a person to a point where they're vulnerable, thinking that they're all in with you. So you feel as though I can let my guards down. This is a safe space. I can just be who I am. And then you turned off because I guess the game or the hunt is over. I don't know. Trey, what's your thoughts?
First, that's his experience, and I respect that. But love is a gamble. Relationships are a gamble. Even with men in platonic relationships with women and women, you're dealing with different personalities. And the sad part about it is, like, unfortunately for our brother T, he's coming in with this perspective on all of us. That's not me. I'm not here to play games. You have to know early on when you're communicating. If you're a healed person, I say this all the time, I don't deal with toxicity because I'm allergic to it. You only got to show me once. Like that girl was saying, all of that nonsense. That's young people, though. That's young. Those are young people. So they're young and dumb. We used to think like that, too. Oh, he in, he out. If we talking to an older audience, like if we're talking about mature adults, we all should know game right now. I'm not going to judge T based on my last relationship. T got a clean slate with me. I trust everybody till they give me a reason not to trust them. And I have expectations and standards. And like I said in my comment, you get what you expect and what you accept. I don't expect you to treat me like a filthy dish rag. I don't expect it and I don't accept it. So when I see these things, I walk away. Whatever you say, if you tell me, listen to this, if you tell me, I'm not ready to be in a relationship, right? But you show me that you're incongruent. I don't deal with it. Your walk and your talk need to match. And if we all just stood on that principle that whether the talk is, I love you, but you beating me up, it's incongruent. Or whether the talk is, I don't want to do this and you treat me like a queen, you still incongruent. The two things don't match up. And for me, if it's confusion, God is not the author of confusion. I need straight, clear facts. And I'm not talking about a perfect man or a perfect woman, but I'm talking about we all have common sense. And I'm sorry to say, for women, we want what we want, so we excuse the red flags. Point blank, period. Like that dumb little girl talking about we together, but we ain't together, but you can't see him, but I can't. He already seeing other women, so just be quiet. Walk away or accept the fact that he cheating and leave that man alone. So we just have to know as grown adults, like my sister Lady Dawn said, I don't put up with that. We all making excuses and pointing fingers at people. No, you are where you are. You're getting what you get based on your choices.
And that's a good point. And I can say, I'm sorry, Copan. I can say for T, I can say he vouched that he wasn't making a blanket statement for us on this panel.
No,
He's
I'm talking about
about
women
him.
in general. Yeah.
He talking about the people he messed with. I
Right.
promise you, he is. He talk about the people he
Nah,
messed with.
yeah, totally
Or had
not. I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah.
But what I mean, what I'm saying is, it's not just it's men too. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. I'm not just saying about the sisters. It goes both ways because sometimes when a
Absolutely.
man he got you on the smash, he get real funky, get a little cocky, and start coming in late, or start missing phone calls, and just start acting all kind of fool. So I'm not just saying women. I'm just talking about people in general. That's what's going on today.
Right.
Dating
Mm-hmm.
today is different. If you're not dating today, you wouldn't understand.
I'm dating today.
Dating today is
Yeah,
it's
I'm
different.
dating. It is different, but I
Okay.
just don't put up with nonsense. Like, you only got to show me.
And you shouldn't.
Elaine?
Yeah, I was gonna say I like something that Trey said, which was we're not perfect people, but you need to have perfect intentions, and perfect from the Greek of mature, right? So when we come to the table and we have the conversation, I need you to be man enough or woman enough to say, I just want somebody to hang out with, or I don't want to get married. Don't say I want to, because see, a serious relationship versus marriage looks different. Because someone can say, I could just be with you, for the rest of our lives and I'm happy. And if that is what they want, then that's fine. But don't say to the person who wants to get married, oh yeah, I want to get married. But in the back of your head, that's not what you want to do, because then that's unfair. And especially, I think, well, both parties, but as a woman, you get your emotions caught up, and we want to believe that image in our head that one day this person is the person I will walk down the aisle with, when that person never had the intentions of even walking down the aisle with anybody, let alone, because they were more into a serious relationship than into a marriage. So I think having perfect intent is being mature enough to have those conversations. And as Lady Dawn B, this big old age, we need to be able to say, what is it that I want? Because if most of us, we're entered into the third quarter of our lives, right? You don't know if you're going to make it fourth. This might be the last quarter. So what are you going to do?
Right.
What does that look like? And are you honest enough to say, I'm cool with whatever it is, but you should be able, when we were younger, they would say, wait to find out. No, now we need to start asking the questions. Let me ask you, how do you see commitment? See, there's some standard questions I'm going to ask just coming in the gate, because I need to know before we even go any further, do we align? If we don't, then we're wasting time.
Can I share
And then something you said. Yep. Once I just want to, and I'm going to jump right back to something we shared at the top of the show about women. And I read a study by Tinder found that 65% of women believed men were primarily interested in casual flings. What we believe, women, what we believe, while only 29% of men actually express that preference. So again, women, we sit here, we conjure these stories, we make these stories up, and we're out there. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. And I'm gonna let you're right next, but let's get these comments out of the way.
Okay. Vaughn,
Hey,
Eric
Vaughn.
said, hey, Vaughn, he says, blessings all and happy new year. Same to you.
Happy New Year's. Okay, we got to hit Dr. Duncan.
She said, what does it mean to be gotten?
Who wants to break it down?
Begotten.
Yeah, it's not the biblical begotten. It's pretty much means when somebody's stringing you along and then they dump you midstream or at the end, and they come to you with false pretenses. They have that mask up, they will you in, and then they let you go. That's begotten means.
My point too that I was going to share when you guys were talking about being honest with each other. I just think the problem is, as women, we're not honest with ourselves. Like in my last relationship, there was talk of marriage and I moved in with him. Right. So instead of him being able to be honest which for whatever reason he changed his mind. I'm not even sure. And I'm transparent with this. But when we got to the point where I had been there for a year and I said, okay, well, when you said when I moved in, we talked about marriage and that was the plan. And when he said to me that marriage is not in the forecast, I was honest with myself. So a lot of times women will pressure or push or stay to see if marriage is going to come back in the forecast. Marriage is not in the forecast. Okay, so I called a realtor and I got me a condo and I took my children and I left. And I had to be honest with myself instead of saying to myself, marriage is not in the forecast for us right now. So maybe this, and waste another 2 or 3 years of my life instead of, because he didn't have the courage to say it or whatever it was. I heard what I said. His actions weren't lining up with the plan. So I got my things and I was honest with myself, as hurtful as it was. I was honest with myself, but I was not going to waste another minute in that house expecting marriage. And then when we again, and I said, he was like, I didn't tell you to leave. No, you don't have to tell me to leave.
To tell me.
But, okay, with the actions not being congruent. I didn't tell you to leave, but you said to me, marriage is not in the forecast. I didn't tell you to leave. My plan was that we were getting married and that's why I was with you. So I was honest with myself and I walked away, and too many women stay for another 3 years, 6 years, 7 years, then down the line and saying he wasted the best years of my life. No, if Trey had stayed, Trey would have wasted the best years of her life. But in that next month, I was out because I'm grown.
Yeah.
You don't got.
I don't blame you, Trey. I don't blame you, Trey. But when you say that, not too many women, too many people.
Too many people, right? Exactly.
It's not just y'all. It's not just y'all. Too many people.
Well, thank
Lady
you.
Dawn B, what you got?
From a woman's perspective. Thank you, T.
Oh, well,
Lady Dawn B, what you got going on over there? What's your thoughts?
First of all, like your actions speak louder than what you say. It's what you do. Because we can say anything. What makes your word valid is when you back it up with the action and actually let your actions speak. Let it be your words. Secondly, I would say, I hear you, Trey, because first of all, I'd be like, bro, I didn't ask your permission to, I don't need you to tell me to leave. I'm a whole grown woman. Like I actually don't need your permission, but thank you. If that's what's making you feel better, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. But we have to show up authentically knowing what we want. We can no longer ignore red flags. And a lot of us, we see some people like red flags is what we've been nice about it. But the truth is some of us like red flags. I told y'all I was being toxic this year. So I'm just saying, we got to call it what it is. If red is your color and that's what you signed up for, have at it. If you love it, I like it for you. But please do us the favor. Don't damage people in the midst of it, because then somebody who likes green flags and somebody else who don't want to wait on a yellow flag is going to get somebody that you damaged with your red flag because you were not clear about what you wanted, and we can't continue to damage each other because everybody's showing up broken, wounded. We're looking like the bicentennial coin, coming back from war in relationships. This is not okay. How do we get past this? And it's okay to want what you want. If you want to be in love, be for real. People stop being afraid because somebody says, I want to be in love. I want to love someone with everything that I am. Why is that a bad thing? Isn't that what you want? You would want somebody to love you with everything that they have and not just show up halfway. You would want that reciprocation, but I find that people blur the lines when they are not prepared to be that giver, but they want to be that taker. So I'm going to leave it right there.
Okay, that's good. Giver and the taker. Okay. Hey, Mike McDonald, how you been? Happy New Year, all that good stuff to you. So we are talking, I'm quite sure you heard the conversation. What you got? What you got for us?
Am I muted? You can hear me.
You're not muted. You're fine.
Okay, great. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year's.
Great topic. I like what everyone said. Everyone had some great input. One well, I think somebody touched on it before. I forgot who. I think it comes down to there's too many choices, there's too many platforms out here that people want to one up what they already have, and they're not satisfied with what they have. They find a flaw, they find something, some reason to say, you know what, I want to see if the grass is greener over here. I want to one up. I want to, well, you know, I don't like this about her. So let me find something or someone that has the full package when there is no full package. And I think there's so many choices, so many platforms to meet different people, both men and women, that they think they're going to be all right by leaving this one good thing in the hopes of finding something better. And
That's
it just
good.
never happens. It becomes a revolving door, and we all lose when it becomes that.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm gonna play this clip again, and I'm gonna need to hear from the men, because I need clarity on this, and I need men to clarify this for me.
Not a man can meet you, think you're an amazing woman, genuinely like you. All right, let me stress that. Genuinely like you, meaning he enjoys your company. He enjoys, you know, doing things with you. He really thinks you're a cool girl, whatever. Yet, be highly attracted to you, clearly want to sleep with you, but still not want to be committed to you in a relationship. Now, I know that sounds freaking ridiculous, right? Like, how could he like you, be attracted to you, all these things, but still not want to be in a relationship with you?
So, Mike, is that what you were just talking about? The
Yes,
grass
I was
being...
speaking directly to that. Yes.
Okay. T, you got anything on that?
Oh yeah, that's just somebody that who wants to keep his options open.
Right.
Basically, that's it.
Right.
But the man ain't the problem. That's us. The men are not the problem. From our perspective, let me say this. The men are not the problem, it's us. We have gotten to this point in our life where social media and all of these media outlets have told us that there's not enough men. So we're like crabs in a barrel as women, fighting for these men, giving these men options, being willing to share a man. And we can't be there anymore, because I'm not talking about these brothers that are here, but the brothers who hear this from different sources, like the Kevin Samuels and this and that. You know, we're high value men, so we have the pick of the litter. So y'all women just gotta settle. So now it's not the men, those men that are leading us on and saying, you know, I like you, to kick it with you. We're sticking around way too long. Like I said with my ex, no, sir, you're not going to have this package and other packages and do what you want to do. And other men that talk to me and say different things, but we cool. We're not going to define this. We're just kicking it. I don't just kick it at 55.
Right.
What is the group? Escape. We're not just kicking it, kick off your shoes, relax your feet. No.
Right.
At this age, we're looking for a solid commitment, right? We're looking for longevity. We're looking for somebody to sit with our grandchildren with. If you are at our age, and I'm going to say 45 and over, and you still are not ready, if you still showing us that you're not ready for a commitment, this is for the women, then we have to be willing to walk away and give a time frame for yourself. I don't know how long that is for you, but I think that within 24 months, with us being 55, we're senior citizens. We got AARP cards.
We got AARP cards, honey, and discounts going on over here.
Within 2 years, we should know that we have a decent person or a person and it's not going anywhere. So, of course, if we cool with kicking it, that's cool. But if your intention as a woman is to be a wife, you have to walk away. And so many women fear loneliness or somebody else getting him. Have at it, sis, because he ain't ready for no commitment with nobody. So you can have him. And if he is ready for one with you and it just wasn't me, I'm cool with that too. But I'm not selling myself short or settling for anything as a senior citizen.
That's a good point, because even I started talking to one guy, and this is very on into my co-host point in the beginning. At this age, is this, and this. And to your point, Trey, yeah, I want to get married. Marriage was on the table, the whole thing, and then midstream, it was going. I was like, listen, you're not going to date me to death. This is not what we're going to do. Like, no. This is not gonna happen. What we doing, how we moving. Okay, then he switched. Fine, I'm cool with that. But say that to your point, it was up to me to walk away. It wasn't his choice to keep me in there and say, oh, I'm gonna stay until you get ready. Again, maybe it wasn't me. Cool with that. But again, you're not going to leave me out there and keep stringing me along. And no, we're not doing that. And to your point, it's up to us women to say, I'm not settling for this. And if you got to be by yourself, be by yourself. I kid you not, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn to love yourself. You take yourself out. It's just a lot that goes on when you're by yourself. Co-host want to say something, then I'm going to go to Mike.
Yeah, I wanted to say it's kind of on something that Mike said, which was with the social media platforms, and you always like want to one up, and there's no perfect person. And I often say this, I want the person that's perfect for me, right? Your level or your capacity of what you're willing to tolerate. That no one, it may be the toothpaste, it may be whatever it is, but you're like, oh, I could deal with that. And when you find that person, vice versa, that he says, you know what, she's perfect for me. She's not perfect, but she's perfect for me. And perfect, again, in the sense of mature, and perfect in the sense of that's someone I want to grow with and share the rest of my life with. And we have to be willing, to your point, Trey, to walk away, but also we got to be willing to stop living in this fantasy of social media of thinking, you know what, I'm going to find the next whatever at the next phase. But I also agree with, don't feel like, oh, the pool is so small that I have to just take anything. As co-hosts know, I say all the time, I can meet nice guys, but it's a matter of finding the one that I think is for me. So I know some great gentlemen, but I go, no, he's not for me. And being willing not to just take anything to say, well, he fits all of these qualifications. And people would say, oh, he's a good catch, but he's not the one for me. And that's unfair, because some people get into relationships knowing that that person is not the person, but because you don't want to be alone, you then grab somebody to say, I have somebody.
And even within that, you're still alone. Hey, Von Eric. So Mike has something to say. Welcome, Von Eric. How are you doing? Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you. We are going to start off. Happy New Year's.
I'm coming up here to be disruptive. I'm just letting y'all know that.
I know. That's why I'm laughing already. I already know what you're coming to do.
So just sit back in your chair and be uncomfortable, because I'm about to bring it.
Okay. Well, that's why I said let Mike go, and then you can go.
Okay, go ahead, Mike. Get him.
Juan, how you doing, bro? Happy New Year.
How you doing, my brother?
Good.
What's up, Trey?
Before I get muted here, let me say I think there needs to be a discussed time frame, moving forward with somebody. And I think man and woman have to agree on the time frame. And I think you'll have a lot more success in courting. If you guys, if, for instance, a young lady and myself can come to a time frame, well, I need this at this time, the end game has to be here. But I can't say that I want to marry you when I just met you. We can agree that we are both looking for the same end game. And then we have to agree on a time frame of milestones. Milestones at 3 months, we have to be doing this. 6 months, we have to be doing this. 9 months, whatever. And then at the end of this time frame, if we are satisfied with the milestones, then we can explore this. And I think that's an honest conversation. I think it'll cut out a lot of the BS that goes on with dating. And at any time during these milestones, you can pull out. You can honestly pull out without hurting someone's feelings because someone wasn't satisfied at this milestone. And it shouldn't be a thing where you feel like you have to stay because you're trying to reach this end game, but it should be, this goal wasn't met for me at this time. And you should be able to pull out with no hard feelings, no animosity, and I think relationships would go more smoothly.
And to your point, all good points. It's something we said earlier, and Trey said, and Dawn said, we big grown, we senior citizens. You have to, at this age, you shouldn't be playing around with people. If you want to date, you should be mature enough to know this is what it takes. This is what I'm going to go through. And to your point, Mike, if those milestones are set, this is what we're going to do. And if you get to a certain milestone, it's not for you. It's not for you. And again, like you said, no hard feelings. Don't throw a tantrum. You ain't got to talk about me on social media. You ain't got to put a post up. You ain't got to talk about my mama. You ain't got to talk about my dog. You ain't got to talk about my daddy. Let's just go our separate ways. Because this was what we agreed to when we came to in the beginning, when we started to date. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. At any given point in time, anybody can walk away. If you choose to walk away, cool. I'm just not the person for you. Good point. Von Eric, what's going on?
That was a great point. Matter of fact, you took my point, Mike. You took my point.
Yeah, I stole it from you, man. When you came on,
steal that from me. That don't make any doggone sense. You know, I wish I could have muted you because I would have. I sure would have muted you for taking my point.
My next dialogue, I will get muted. Believe me.
But that was a good point. I see what you, because sometimes, and it's just not women, it's sometimes men too. They have a strict timeline when they want to. It has to be at this time. If not, they want to roll out, or they get upset, and it's just not women. It's men too. But I think both parties need to understand. Sometimes when you're in a relationship, things go good, and then something goes out of whack. You go through hard times, and some people see when they go through hard times, they ready to roll out, or they think it may not work. And that could be different things they have went through to that past relationship they haven't yet let go. I think that's what you were saying also, Mike. I'm just piggybacking off what you were saying. But what the clip said, as far as the person may not want to be with you, that could be many things. When you go in a relationship, it's like going for an interview. You're going to put your best self forward. And sometimes people feel things within their gut, but they feel something, but they don't want to react until they see it. And sometimes that's why sometimes people just, be patient. But then when they patient, and then when they see it, it's hard for them. They may say, well, I don't want to, because she does this or he does this, but it's just something that is hard for me to cling to this person. And sometimes it takes a person a long time to get over it. It could be many things. It could be some mentally, it could be emotionally, it could be things that was told to this person. And it takes them a long time to see more than others. And sometimes that can cause friction.
Well, it's like Lady Dawn B said, they like red flags. So they like red flags. If you're staying that long and you know in your gut, it ain't right, and you stay and you stay and you stay, hey.
But it might be not, that red flag that come up may not be as strong enough for them to leave the person. Even though they have a red flag, it may not be strong enough for that person to leave. Sometimes, some things both parties may put up with. It's something they don't like, but it's not enough for them to leave the person.
Right. But at that same point, Vaughn, if it's not enough for you to leave, and then you finally get to that point where you have enough courage to leave, you don't get to blame the other person.
Oh, no, that's
because you chose to stay.
Right.
And you saw all these red flags, and this person was showing you who they are day in and day out. Their language was lining up with their actions. And if you choose to stay in that, and then you finally, oh, I can't take this no more, you finally explode, you don't get to say he or she used me or he or she made, no, you chose to stay. So you can't
Right.
turn around and say, because of him, I lost 10 years of my life.
Right.
Not here. You lost 10 years of your life because you chose to stay after you saw all the red flags.
And some
You go
people
pause
don't
right there.
communicate. Some people don't communicate when they see the red flag. Some people don't communicate with the other person and let them know what they're seeing and see if they can fix it. They let it continue. And
And
when
again, they have to take onus for their
and they take
behavior.
ownership.
You don't
Right.
get to blame your behavior and blame it
Mhm.
on somebody else. We
Right.
have, like we said, we all grown. We have to be accountable for our actions, what we do, and the decisions that we make. So
That's
if
true.
you see the red flags and you stay in your, I'm coming to you, co-host. Guess what? That's
Mhm.
on you. You don't get to blame him or blame her
Mhm.
because of what you allowed to happen.
That's true.
Co-host.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a big part of it is understanding being alone versus lonely, because I think a lot of times we stay in relationships because we don't want to be lonely. Because if you know how to be alone by yourself, then you're good with, okay. But sometimes we've all went too far and stayed too long because we're like, well, I know what this is. I don't know what it is to date again, or I don't know. So I know this area and I could deal with this level of whatever we want to call it. And I know it's not right for me, but I know it and it's comfortable. So I'm going to sit in my pain and stay here opposed to starting all over again. And
Yeah.
what does that look like? So that to me is a part of being lonely. And so even though I'm miserable in this relationship, I mean, you have some married people that just stay together because, you know, I don't want to start all over again. So I'm just going to be miserable. Right. But
And
then
still lonely.
right. And you're still lonely. But then you have understand that I can be alone, which means no, I'm not lonely. I desire to be with someone, but I want to be with the right someone. I don't just want to be with anyone, because let's think about it. Everybody on here could just be with anybody, but it's being with the person that you feel like, yeah, we have a rhythm. There's something to it. And when we're looking at relationships, and to Mike's point earlier of talking about the milestones, right? We got to have the conversations and say, you know, do you want to get married? Okay, I may not be the person you want to marry, but at least I know you do have marriage in your radar as well. You know, if you were younger, do you want to have children? You need to ask those questions, because how many times have we heard of people who said they got married and then the other person didn't want children, and now that's what's breaking them apart, because one person lied and said, yeah, sure, I want children, but they never did. They just wanted the relationship but didn't want the other things. And I think so many times we put a facade up, or we put a mask on because we don't want to be lonely.
Yeah, but
That's good. Hold on, Vaughn, 1 second. Let's go, because we're losing people in the comments. So let's go here real quick.
So Danielle says, is it ever too early to discuss milestones? I would honestly say no, but I would also say wait until you see if you like the person, right? Because I mean, personally, I'm not going to discuss milestones with somebody that if I sit down at dinner, I'm like, no. Ain't no sense of us having this conversation because I don't want to have dinner again. But if I feel like there's something there, then eventually, yes, we need to have those conversations. So I don't think it's too early, but I think it has to be with someone that you kind of feel that I want to explore. I want to know more about you.
Right.
That's
Mike,
men, but I'll ask the
men. Mike, Vaughn, then T. The question is it ever too early to discuss milestones?
No, because milestones lead up to the end game, right? So, you know, you meet someone, you go out and you decide if each other wants to see each other again. And then, you know, maybe after 2-3 dates, you're saying, hey, this is what I need out of this. This is what I'm looking for out of this. If the person is in agreement with that, and your needs match their needs, then you can have a discussion of milestones. and then you set these milestones and you agree on what at the time frame for each milestone.
Okay, Vaughn, is it
I
never too
think it
early to
depends.
discuss milestones?
I think it depends on the person. I think it's, it depends on the person. Some people would do it early, some people would, not. But yeah, I just think it depends on the person. Lady Dawn B, if you shake your head again while I'm talking, me and you gonna
This
have
is
a problem.
family. Listen, this is family. Y'all does pay none of us any mind. We have healthy family banter here, so it's just internal between 1, 2, 3. Because Vaughn always got something to say. T, because Vaughn is
Yeah.
really a social media, a platform thug. He just talk behind the camera. He'll never want to meet you face to face and square up. But anyway, T, is it ever too early to discuss milestones?
I mean, I want to know who I'm discussing milestones with first. So I definitely want to wait at least 2 or 3 dates. I got to know who I'm talking to first, because one date ain't going to determine whether I should discuss milestones with that person. Because I might not even want to go on a date with this person again. She might not want to go on a date with me again. So in the beginning, nah, not a good idea.
Okay, and
That's
your
a great point.
answer.
Yep, that's a great point.
And that's what I basically said also. However, I remember when I first got on this show, and there were women on here, and I see them right now. They were saying that
Here it comes.
And don't get in no trouble, Mike.
Here it comes.
Because all three of us are here. Go ahead.
they said that if they won't even date a person if their discussion is not about marriage on the first date.
What show was that on?
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't know.
Okay.
That was not on this show.
So they made it seem like, okay, maybe that's the word. It seemed like that if marriage is not the end game, we're wasting our time.
Oh no, I don't know if it was me, but I will say that yes, if I'm having a conversation and you don't want to get married, then to me that's a waste of time for me, because ultimately I want to get married. So
yeah, ultimately we the majority of us want to get married.
No, there's some people who don't.
No, I understand. That's why I said majority, right? However, it takes some time spent to wholeheartedly say, yeah, I think potentially you can be somebody that I would like to marry. So you go in, with blinders on, but knowing that you have a goal, and you don't know if that person is going to be the one unless you have a couple of dates. You understand? And I think a lot of women out here, not on this platform, of course, but a lot of women out here, I've heard say, look, if we not doing this and we not doing that, then there's no sense of us even going to dinner. There's no sense of us going to lunch.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
At what stage though? At what stage? Because everything you just
Beginning.
said, Mike,
In the beginning, as soon as you meet.
milestone, right? So everything you just said ties into your milestones you just talked about. Now that last part, I think Vaughn says something, then T says something.
No, I just said that's. I've heard that. That's all. No.
Yeah, that's what I said. I heard that also. Right in the beginning.
Right.
Okay.
Hold on.
Trey.
Yeah, but we're talking about blurred lines here. That's the problem from the beginning. The lines are blurred. We are too old for any blurred lines. A woman has a right to say, I don't want to waste my time dating you past the second date, period. And there's nothing wrong with that. And and what the brothers are saying now, I understand what y'all are saying. What we get to say to you, and you get to move right along. But those are the lines. Listen, those are talking about the beginning of this. You're saying and you're doing another. We are men and women of a certain age. No one is saying to marry me next week, next year, or next month. We're saying that what is your intention for dating? Your intention is like, when I meet you, because I really don't want to waste my time with you if your intention is not to get married or even have a serious relationship, because maybe you're just a serial dater. Maybe you like to have multiple women, and there are other women who are cool with that. There are serial dating women. And for the most part, for us on here right now, I don't feel like we're serial daters. So we just know from the beginning. Are you looking for a lady? Because I'm looking for an old man, and I don't want to call you boyfriend. And then I'm looking to get married. So having serious conversations at our age on date one. I'm sorry. I know exactly what I
Lady
want.
Dawn B.
And I don't want you.
Lady Dawn B, what you got? Oh, she's going in and out. Sorry.
Am I?
There you go.
I was saying, Lady Dawn B, what you have?
Oh, okay. The issue that I have is that when we state what we want, when we come in with intentionality and we are stating what we want up front, it becomes a problem. Then when we don't state what we want up front, this is okay. This is Lady Dawn B, and this is my opinion. All right. Okay. Here we go. So I'm toxic this year, y'all. It becomes a problem when we don't say, when we play it smooth, when we sit back and don't express, when we see how it's going. If I don't tell you up front, and I'm not saying that my end goal could be, yes, I would like to get married one day. I didn't say we do it in the next 36 hours. I said one day, bruh, we sitting here having coffee. Like, I don't even know, if I like you enough to have dinner tomorrow. But if we're talking relationship, so that you understand where I plan on growing in the relationship for us to go. Now, how that develops is up to us. We may have a great coffee date. We might have amazing dinner. We may then go bowling and have the worst time of our lives. But if I don't let you know up front what my end goal is, it's not fair to you, because then you will be sitting there thinking, oh, well, she's just a chill, good time girl. All right, we're going to play it smooth, be easy. No, I need to let you know. But that doesn't mean I'm going to pressure you within 2 and 5 dates. Now, do we have milestones along the way? Yes, whether we say it or not. We all just sat here and said, by date number 1, if the conversation is not this, I'm not having a second date. That's a milestone point for you. You may say after 3 dates, then, I want to see you in a different environment. That's another milestone. But we have to be realistic and honest about what our milestones are, what that is for you. We don't have to express it all the time up front, but know where your lines are. What would you like to see between you and I at a certain point that we can grow into? And that's for both sides. So I don't want y'all to think I'm saying it's women versus men and men versus, it's both sides. It happens to both sides. Men, I expect you to come tell me your intention. What is your intentions? Because if we're just dating and kicking the breeze, it's like, well, okay, well, what are we doing? Again, I'm not trying to give you my whole bag of emotions and you just out here for a good time. Well, then you're going to get like 3% or 3 cents of my emotions because it's a good time. Why invest the whole dollar if I don't have to? What are we doing? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
Okay, thank you for that, because Mike, T and Mike was about to jump through the screen. So T and then Mike.
No, I agree with you. I mean, in the beginning, if you tell me those are your intentions to get married, I get that, But as far as the whole setting up the whole milestones, we ain't doing that on the first date because I don't even know you.
Right.
You don't know me.
But wait, when I say on the first date, I mean, you have your own personal milestones, whether you express them to someone or not. You know, by the end of that first date, what you're looking for, whether that person is it or not. So it's not so much that you're always expressing it to the other person, but we all have those milestone points. I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but I just want
See,
okay.
Cut him off, see?
That's all I'm saying. I understand you let me know what your goals are and what your intentions are, and I would let you know the same. But like I said, when you start talking milestones, then I think we're getting a little too personal on the first date for me. That's just for me. Let's get to know each other first
Right. I think
before we start making milestones.
I think in listening to Lady Dawn B, one of the things is not necessarily it's the milestone of, do I want another date? So it's not something that you have said out loud, like, I want to get married, because when you're first having that first conversation, you know, whether that's across the dinner table, you both are assessing, is this someone that I want to see again? So the next milestone could be a second date. That's it. Not marriage, just a second date. We've all gone out with somebody and was like, yeah, no, that was a good meal, but a horrible date. And then vice versa. We've gone out and been like, oh my God, I had more fun than I thought I would have had. So then that continues to the second. And now to the point of we're at the third or fourth date, it's like, okay, we're now we may now verbalize certain milestones, like, hey, do you ever think about getting married? If so, what does that look like to you? And I think that's where was maybe a little that was the blurred line in this conversation.
Yeah, and Vaughn, I hear you. Hush your mouth. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So when Lady Dawn B was expressing her sentiment about what should dating look like to her, and Trey was like rooting her on, you know what I'm saying, with the gloves up, and she was, and Dawn B was saying, yo, off the bat, you're gonna tell me whether you want to get married or not. And I think the conversation should be,
time out. When did she say that?
She did. She said, this is my interpretation as a man.
Oh, okay. Your interpretation as a
she said that she's not going to waste no time. She's going to state what her intention is from jump, and she made it sound like, and that's good, but she made it sound like, so the scenario is, Lady Dawn B, let's go to dinner. Let's act this out. What are you going to say? I'm asking you to dinner. What are you going to say?
I'm going to say, sure, let's go. Okay. When would you like to go?
Tomorrow.
All right. What time?
8:00. Now we at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. Who paying?
Talking about general stuff. When are you going to bring out?
Who paying? Who paying?
That your intention is to get
you
married.
Paying, Vaughn.
When are you going to bring that up? You're going to bring that up that first date. Your intention is to get married. So if you're not on that same page, then we might as well leave after the bill.
Okay. Generally,
that's how. And you just agreed to that, right, Trey?
Yes, I did.
So Trey,
I'm not gonna say to you. No, I'm not. I don't want to.
Because Dawn B, she's quiet now. So
wait, I'm not.
Let me ask you.
I'm quiet now because I've been.
Hold on. Let Dawn B respond to Mike.
Okay.
Because I was quiet, being respectful to you still speaking, not because I have nothing to say. Now, to answer your question, it will come up on the first night, depending on how our conversation goes. Typically, on the first date, somewhere along the line, someone. Hold on. Let me finish. I respectfully waited.
Okay.
Now
I'm really just looking for a scenario, not a long drawn out response.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry if it's taking the long route with you. I'm responding to you. If you allow me to finish responding, you want a bullet point? You can have that too. It's going to come up when you ask me in the conversation. So where do you see us going? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you anticipate getting married? Do you have kids? Those are usually questions that come up on a first date. It happens. It may not be your experience, but some, not all people because you're engaging in conversation. Sometimes we've run out of conversation, so we give the typical basic questions. Do you want to get married? Do you just want to date? What's your favorite color? So
And I think to
that's
your
when
point,
that
sorry
comes.
to cut you
I
off,
didn't
Don B.
say
To your
everybody. I
point,
said, go ahead. I'm sorry.
to your point, like you said, we're big grown, we're seniors, so we're having adult conversations. It's no longer, okay, so what are we doing after this? Dating at this point, I can say for me, has a goal. There's intentions. So to my co-host's point, there's things you need to be asking at this age. I believe everybody on this platform is over 50. So what
Yeah, in number.
conversations are we having?
Yeah, in number. Yeah, I'm over 50 in number, but I'm 25 in heart. So
Vaughn
We
cut it
know
out.
that.
That's why we asking them
We
to
know
do
that.
conversation.
But
Cut it
again,
off.
having grown folk conversation and having adult conversations and dating and going into situations, these are questions that need to be asked. We have more years behind us than we do in front of us.
yeah, that's
Nobody has time to be pussyfooting around and having these lackluster conversations, not figuring out where we're going above 50. That's just for me in my house.
but,
Co-host,
but can I ask I think
go
what
ahead,
like
Vaughn.
I think what Mike was going to, it depends on how the conversation is going. And it depends on
But
how the communication is going. Like Sister Trey, if me and you was on a date and we was at the restaurant, how would you ask me that question?
I wouldn't even ask you. I say, were your parents married? How long were they married? What does marriage look like for you? It's just these are conversations. Do you have?
See, that is a good question to ask a person, as far as, you know, some people may not ask it like that. They may come straight up forward. Hey, listen, homie, are you ready to get married? Or are you trying to get married? Because if you're not, we might as well not even continue on this path. Because where I'm at in my life, I want to get married.
Who's having a conversation with somebody that talks like that?
It's
That part.
Yes, it is people
who's entertaining
that talk, it is people that talk like that, Sister Pat. Coach, it is people that talk like that with aggressiveness. It's just that's how they communicate. It's not they have a tough heart, or they talk that way, but they have a soft heart. But they're talking in aggressiveness, and it's sometimes a person on the other end, it throws that person off. It will. It would throw, even though that person's attention may not be there, it still throws the person off. But the way Sister Trey just asked that question, okay, I see okay, yes, my parents was married for 30 years. And yes, at my life where I'm at today and where God has me at today and what I've been, yes, I am ready to get married if I meet that person that God brings in front of my face. You know, and then I may ask her, do you believe you that woman right now? Do you believe you that woman right now? God has you. What do God have you at?
Can I just say,
hold on. Because to that point, then there's a dialogue going along between the two people, and there's an interest. So it's no problem having that conversation. So co-host was trying to say something, and I'm gonna go to Lady Dawn B.
No, go ahead. Go to Lady Dawn B.
Oh Lord,
Vaughn, he's in the playground at 3:00 so we can fight. Okay, and I just want to be clear, because even in the conversation, I said when I say that yes, in the first date, when the conversation comes up, as it comes up, I'm not saying that it's gonna be like, oh yes, can I have a glass of water? I want the salad with ranch dressing, and hey, do you want to get married? Because that's my intention. That's not at all what I'm saying. How it would go. But it comes up in a conversation. But I also said that expressing that for me in a dating space, that's my intention. After that, I said, it doesn't mean that I want to do that within the next 36 hours. So it's not an immediate goal. So you shouldn't be bothered by that. I'm just letting you know. My purpose in dating and being with someone and spending time and getting to know you is that, yes, eventually I would like to be in a marriage, a relationship turn to marriage. So I understand how you could, people are always going to perceive things their way. I can't help how people perceive or understand or interpret what we're saying. We can just try to be as clear as we possibly can. And if it's misunderstood, then the question needs to be asked, not the accusing of something. You know, if I'm not sure of what you're saying, and please don't take offense. If I'm not sure of what someone is saying, I'll say, okay, so what I heard was, is this what you're saying? Because I've been on dates where men have said the same thing to me. Like, I'm not here to pay for dinner and play around. Listen, I'm trying to find a wife. Well, bro, listen, I pay my own bill. You good company, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just out here for 2 hours, my friend. Calm down. It's a date. But I hear you. You know, we have to give each other that space to grow through relationship. But in being honest, I understand now that you're looking for long-term and longevity. So I am looking at myself in this space of dating you differently, with the understanding that he wants a forever thing. So I have to start, can I show up for him being that forever thing? Am I willing to look at and understand him in a different way? So I just wanted to make sure to add the balance, or to reiterate, yes, I did say in the first date, we have that conversation. It may come up or it will, but I don't mean that because it does, it's within the next 36 hours.
Crystal clear.
All right. This was
Okay, I get it.
Can I say one more thing though?
Uh-huh.
People are our age should be comfortable with any question. If I'm out on the date, I will ask you, what do you think about therapy? Because I'm not trying to deal with somebody with psychotic issues or mental issues. I'm asking real questions at this age, because are you addicted to anything? When I'm out on a date, seriously, and I know maybe this is a problem for men, but then I know that's not the man for me. Because if I can't discuss these things with you now, you have a communication issue. I'm gonna tell you my deal breakers. You can't put your hands on me. You can't cheat, and you can't be addicted to nothing. Because I don't want to deal with an addict. So I could be sitting across from somebody that been on drugs. I don't want to deal with that. I dealt with that growing up. So those are triggers for me. So I have the right to have whatever conversation I want to have at that date. And if that's a turn off for the man across from me, then I know he ain't the one for me, and I'm okay, because I get deep in the first 1 or 2 dates.
Okay, wait a minute. You said addicted. You said addicted. What about if I get addicted to you?
Oh Lord!
What if I get addicted to you, so you're just going to say no? I can't get addicted to you. Is that what you're saying? If you just said I can't get addicted, you don't want a person that's addicted. Well, what if I get addicted to you? I'm here scratching and everything because I'm addicted to you.
No,
I cannot get enough. Would you accept that?
Addictions. Any addiction is, listen, I believe that an addiction is a distraction from God. Don't be addicted to me, because that'll cause you some problems.
Wait a minute. I am addicted because I see the spirit of Jesus Christ upon you in the way you deliver everything. You mean to tell me you will not accept my addiction because you're expressing Jesus? Oh, yeah. Well, yep. Okay.
No. I do new addictions.
Okay. I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay. Co-host want to say something.
This has been a lot. This has been a lot. I think that a lot of this, when we're talking about relationships, is honestly just taking a good hard look at ourselves, and then understanding what you feel self-worth is and the other person, and not trying to put the round hole in a square peg in the round hole. And because for women, a lot of times I think we try to conform to the person. If our desire is marriage, we just want to get married and not marry the right person. So you have to be careful on things like that, and knowing, is this person worth me, and am I worth that person? So it's not just one way. Do I see us mutually building each other up? Do I see us mutually where I'm weak? Do I see that he has the strength there, and vice versa? So I think when we're looking at relationships and we're looking at the blurred lines, just to kind of go back to it, the lines get blurred because, to Trey's point, we start to accept anything. And once we put standards in place, the lines will no longer be blurred, because it's either here's the line in the sand, either you're going to toe this line or not. And I have the right to walk away at any moment, as well as the gentleman has the right to walk away at any moment when what we're doing no longer satisfies either party. So I think that that's where we have to start and stay there, not just start there, but stay there, because many times we get there and then, as women, we're like, oh, but I think I love him, so let me now teeter the line and think I'm going to change his mind. That's not going to happen. If he said no, that his no was no. And if he's going to change, he's going to change because he wants to change for you. You can't change him.
Yep. Draw that line in the sand.
And when you draw the line, don't draw another one and step back and say, okay, let's try again. The line is the line. So this has, right. This has been amazing. Thank you all for jumping up here and tuning in and giving your perspectives and having fun and laughing. Again, we were talking about blurred lines. Have the DTR talk. Define the relationship. Stop with all these blurred lines. Everybody too grown for this. Have the open, honest communication. It's essential for a successful relationship. Have the conversation. It's okay. The DTR talk doesn't have to be confrontational. Like we said, just go up. That could be coffee. Have the conversation. It can be calm, curious discussion. That's it. Use I statements, right? Don't say you. Stay calm. Use I. Communicate what you need clearly and effectively. So this has been the first Monday Beyond the Mic of the year, and this was fun. So thank you all for tuning in, and hopefully we will see you all next week, same time. And again, we appreciate you. We know it's Monday. Mondays are hectic for everybody. So thank you for tuning in and sharing what your thoughts was tonight. Good night, all.
Good night.
All I do is try to construe this life.